It's Winners and Losers Sunday here on Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. We'll put a bow on the Bears' 27-3 preseason win over the Bengals, as Chicago is now 3-0 during the preseason. But this is a fun game. Another dominant win for Chicago. We'll talk some winners, talk some losers, some overall takeaways. And then we'll get you ready for the week to come as the Bears have one more preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're ready and excited for the real deal to be here, the regular season, hit that like button because don't get me wrong, preseason's fun, training camp is fun, it's important. But the real deal is just around the corner, and I, for one, can't wait. So if you're ready for that, 3 weeks from today, the Bears kick off at Soldier Field against the Titans. If you're fired up, hit that like button. All right, before we get to winners and losers, I don't have Caleb in either category because he started slow, he missed some throws. It wasn't the greatest, cleanest performance ever, but he finished awesome, some highlight reel plays. But I did want to just talk about him a little bit. We got some post-game thoughts from some of his teammates as well. DJ Moore called his pocket presence amazing, his feel in the pocket special. Rome Odunze talking about that play where he rolled left and lofted it to him, said he's special, talking about that as well. So, yeah, I mean, couple throws in the pocket he certainly needs to hit. One that stands out is he kept the play alive, stepped up, and didn't quite set his feet and missed a throw to Gerald Everett. That's one. Couple on the opening drive. He seemed a little amped up, but I think he played better than this stat line would suggest. But, you know, I want to be fair. I don't think he was so incredible that he's in the winner category, but he definitely wasn't bad enough to be in the loser category. But some extra 2 cents on Caleb Williams, as I think he continues to do some good things as we get closer to the opening game. All right, our first winner is Rome Odunze, and he would have been a huge winner had he known where his feet were in the corner of the end zone on that final drive to end the half. But he still had a couple of chunk plays, 45-yard catch on that scramble drill from Caleb Williams, perfectly placed throw, perfect catch, really nice play there, really good execution. Shane Waldron got him the ball on an end around as well. He turned the corner and got 16 yards. He did say, and he said, look, it's not an excuse, but he was asked, and if you watch the telecast close, there was a second line behind the back of the end zone, like 2 yards behind it, and he said he did get a little cross-eyed there, so that could have contributed to him being out of bounds. Now, like he said, no excuse, I got to know where I'm at, but it was a weird setup. I hope the Bears fix that for the regular season because, again, go back and look. Like a yard or two behind the back line of the end zone, there was another line that looks like the end zone line. It's just like, why would you have that on the field? But learning opportunity for him. I think overall, though, it was still a positive day. Okay, Dante Pettis, maybe the biggest winner coming out of this game. A player who's been on the bubble, a player who missed last season with an injury, didn't have the best start to the preseason. One of the best players in this game, I thought. 3 catches, 53 yards, couple of touchdowns, couple of nasty routes, especially that first one on that goal line corner fade out of the slot. That was really nice. And then Tyson Bagent hit him on another slot fade to the front pylon for a touchdown. It was good to see. Caught a seam ball as well over the middle of the field, took contact and held on. Pettis, the interesting part about him, when you kind of talk about him in this wide receiver depth competition, I think he's clearly a better receiver than Velus Jones, who's primarily just a running back at this point. He's a better pure receiver than DeAndre Carter. I like Colin Johnson's skill set a little more because he's 6'6", but the reality is he's missed the last 2 preseason games. Carter didn't play in the game yesterday, so Dante Pettis took full advantage. Now, how many receivers are they going to keep? Are they going to keep Velus as a running back, but also kind of cheat his roster spot as the final receiver? I'm not sure. We'll talk Velus here in a second, but yeah, I think Pettis made a strong statement today and kind of reminded us all that, like, yeah, he's not a great player. He's a bit of a flawed player, but he's a pretty good route runner. I think out of all the depth guys, you could argue he's the best route runner on the team. Again, among the depth guys. So if he can finish camp strong and have a nice outing against Kansas City, he might find himself on the right side of the 53. What say you? Do you think Dante Pettis makes this 53-man roster? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I think he's squarely on the bubble, but this performance against Cincinnati, I think definitely put him back on people's radars. Velus Jones Jr. in the loser category. I don't think he did anything wrong per se, but he didn't do anything to stand out. 6 carries, 13 yards. Now, little skewed because he got blown up for a loss of 5 on a play he didn't have a chance. So if you take that out of it, 5 carries for 18 yards, still not great, but it's certainly better. But he's playing deep into the fourth quarter. Like, I thought we'd see him and or Ian Wheeler earlier. That can't bode well for Velus Jones. The fact that he was playing deep into this game. And not only that he was playing deep, but he didn't really flash. I didn't like how the Bears used Travis Homer for a full drive and threw the ball to him out of the backfield. Like, that's something I'd like to see them try with Velus, like a little screen or a little out route out of the backfield and dump it off to him. Now, maybe he's just not ready for that. I don't know. But I can't think that's a promising sign that, A, he didn't perform that well, and B, he's playing deep into the game. We'll see where it goes from here, but clock's ticking, man. I like Dante Pettis for different reasons. He is squarely on the bubble at this point. All right, Rocket Money is our sponsor here on Chicago Bears Now. It's a personal finance app that will find and cancel any subscriptions you no longer want. It'll also help you set budgets and even negotiate to lower bills by up to 20%. And that last part, I think, is a unique part of this app. If you feel like you're spending too much on your energy provider or on your cell phone provider, they will show you other companies' competitive offers, and you might save up to 20% with a new company, which is pretty cool. Again, if you want to cancel some of those subscriptions, just click cancel, and they will take care of the rest for you. No longer having to do email back and forths with some of these companies. It's like, no, I don't want to pay anymore. So Rocket Money will serve as a middleman and cancel those for you. Check it out today, rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. It's rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. Get started with Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app. Link is in the comments and in the description. rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. Our next winner here is Kyler Gordon, who I think was a tone setter early in this game. The offense came out a little clunky, 3 and outs, and he was just flying around. I've used the term piss missile for Caleb Williams throwing fastballs. Kyler Gordon was a piss missile as a defensive player. He about killed Logan Woodside on a corner blitz. Woodside never saw him coming, and he absolutely lit him up. He had 4 tackles, a sack, 2 TFLs in this game, and that was less than a full entire first half. I think he played like 3 or 4 drives defensively, and he littered up the stat sheet like that. I feel like Kyler Gordon is kind of on that natural upward trajectory where he struggled most of his rookie year, but the final month he was pretty good. Second year, he was pretty good all season. And then this year, could he make at least a Pro Bowl and maybe even an All-Pro type of leap? He's just a complete player as a nickel. They can blitz him. He's a willing tackler in the run game. He can make plays in space. He can cover. He's a perfect nickel for Matt Eberflus's defense. And if he could just stay healthy, man, I think he's got a hell of a year coming up. All right, let's talk. Nate Davis in the loser category. Said it a couple days ago. Hey, opportunity might be opening back up for Nate Davis. Ryan Bates is week to week. He's practicing with the ones, back and healthy. All right, let's see what Nate Davis does. He had one of the worst reps I can remember a starting offensive lineman have against backups, by the way, in this game. Don't believe me? Go to my Twitter at HGramNFL. He just gets completely put into a blender and turned around by a backup defensive lineman who then sacks Caleb Williams. And Caleb, taking the high road after the game, he said, yeah, I held on to the ball too long. The sack wasn't on the offensive line. It's like, dude, I'll say it for you. Nate Davis was horrible on that play. Now, could Caleb have gotten rid of it? Sure, but, I mean, my God. It was a horrible rep, and I just look on this. This is what they wanted the offensive line to be when camp started. I think Coleman Shelton ends up being your starting center. If Ryan Bates is healthy, I think he starts at right guard. And if not, are we sure Matt Pryor is not better than Nate Davis? He played better last week against the Bills starters than Nate Davis did against the Bengals backups. That's a fact. There's just no doubt. Now, I get it. He's ramping back up from injury, yada, yada, hasn't had game reps. I don't know, man. At some point, the excuses kind of run dry on this guy. And I'm not saying he's not trying. I'm not saying, that he can't get it turned around. What I'm saying is I'm trying to win games this year, and you got to play the best 5 out there. And if Ryan Bates or Matt Pryor are better options, sorry, I don't care that Nate Davis makes $10 million a year. He can be a backup. That's how I feel about it at this point. So you guys make the call. I think you know where I stand. Should Nate Davis be bench, type B for bench, S for start? I'm not starting him, man. I just can't do it. Until I see tangible evidence that he can at least be average, even above average, like I'm going elsewhere because I just continue to be disappointed in this guy. All right, before we get to some other rapid-fire winners and losers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will continue to bring you guys content on a daily basis, the latest Bears news, rumors, training camp updates, and a whole lot more. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Share that link with a friend. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, Bears fans. Okay, some other Bears winners. I thought Tyson Bagent kind of settled the waters a little bit. Again, I was never panicked, but I just didn't think his first 2 preseason games were that great. Threw 2 touchdowns, 7 of 8. He was efficient, looked good. Nsimba Webster, I'll tell you what, I don't think he'll make the team, but every time he gets in there in these preseason games for the last couple of years, he makes stuff happen, and he's versatile. He's a good little slot receiver. He can catch the ball on punt. He had a really nice tackle on kickoff. Got the guy down at like the 14-yard line. I don't know. If you don't know who wide receiver 6 is, maybe keep him. Who knows? Again, I don't think they will, but he does a little bit of everything. Definitely a practice squad candidate. Terell Smith, nice interception. Could have been a pick 6. Jumped the route. It was good play. I think the Bears have 4 starting corners. He's the 4th one, so we'll see if they work him on the field at all. But good news is if Tyreek Stevenson, for whatever reason, struggles this year, Terell Smith can absolutely play for you. Amon, that first preseason game, he didn't play great. Last week he played better. This week played even better. He's slowly been more productive, and that's nice to see. Obviously, the Bears have good linebackers, but if one were to go down, he could at least hold his own out there. Daniel Hardy, we've talked a lot about Austin Booker, who did some nice things in this game as well, but Hardy has just been, at least once per game he's flashed, in my opinion, and he had another sack. Really nice spin move on the right tackle and brought down Logan Woodside, so I liked what I saw there. Couple losers. Ian Wheeler had a couple nice catches, so that was good. He's more so in this category because we just didn't see him much. He had 2 carries for 4 yards, 2 catches for 14 yards. I really wish Shane Waldron would have played him and Velus Jones earlier in this game, but they did not. Khari Blasingame, the only 2 plays I remember from him were, 1, a fullback screen. He didn't get past the line of scrimmage. That's probably more on Waldron. It's like, why are we running a fullback screen? And 2, they were in I formation one other time, and the play went nowhere. I'm not saying it's his fault, but, the few snaps your fullback gets, you want to get some positive plays out of it. They did not. And then Austin Reed didn't get to play in this game. I don't think he's ever really been a real threat to make the 53, but to not get snaps, it's certainly a bummer for him. We'll see if he gets out there on Thursday against the Chiefs. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow in the studio live at 4 o'clock Central Time on Monday, and we will get you ready for a little Thursday night preseason football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Until then, bear down.